Hi, my name is Arvind Singhal, and I love to tell stories because stories fuel my imagination. Stories take me to places where I've never been. So today we'll be telling some stories which are especially dear to me, and these are stories about deviance, not the bad kind, but the good kind of deviance. And we'll even be talking about why deviance is desirable. Shall we? Mother Teresa was once asked if she would join a march against the Vietnam War. I'm sorry, she responded. But how about a march for peace? She asked. How about it? A march for peace. Mahatma Gandhi was once asked why he traveled third class. As Rashtrapita, as father of the Indian nation, should he not go first class, by train, that is? He noted, I travel third class because, as you know, there is no fourth class. Because there is no fourth class. So what makes Mother Teresa and Mahatma Gandhi great is not that they thought differently than others. What makes them iconic or heroes is that they acted on their thoughts. In this sense, Mother Teresa and Mahatma Gandhi are deviants. Good deviants. Positive deviants. The kind of deviants we would all like to be, that we aspire to be. What Mother Teresa and Mahatma Gandhi did in their lives was not the norm. They were outliers. They were positive outliers. They did things that changed the world. As Mother Teresa would say, we all cannot do great things, but we can all do small things with great love. Now let us pose a question, and it's not an insignificant question. A question that is actually of profound importance to change agents, to do-gooders, and to public servants. Do we have to be a Mother Teresa or a Mahatma Gandhi or a Cesar Chavez or a Dolores Huerta to change the world? Do we have to be a hero, a public hero? Do we have to be an icon? Or can ordinary people not change the world around them? I suggest that we dispel this myth that we subscribe to, that we embrace, this myth of the hero, the myth of this cult of personality. I suggest that we look for the positive deviants among the ordinary. I suggest that if we do so, we could change the world. Now, if one looked around, there are positive deviants all around us. People, ordinary people who think differently and who act differently, and who are not iconic, who are not public heroes. And these ordinary people do ordinary things which often have extraordinary effects. So let's give you some examples. I know of a pediatric anesthesiologist who never wheels her babies into the operation room. She carries her little charges. And as she's leaving, she turns to the parents and says, "Your baby is okay with me." And you can imagine what that does for the parents. There are thousands of pediatric anesthesiologists in this world. Not everyone carries their babies to the operation room. We have a younger son who was a preemie baby and had multiple surgeries and was taken care of by multiple pediatric anesthesiologists. And all of them, wonderfully trained, phenomenal doctors, wheeled the baby in. This pediatric anesthesiologist did things a little differently. She thought a little differently. I know about a commercial sex worker, and we know there are probably millions of commercial sex workers around the world, who, unlike other commercial sex workers, when she negotiates condom use with a client, she only does so, in her words, when the client is at the point of no return. Now, I don't know what that means, but you can let your imaginations run wild. So it's not that, oh, you are here, you got to use a condom with me. There's something to be said about the timing. And she never says, use this so that I'm protected. She says, you should use this because you need to protect you, and not just you, your body, but you need to use this because you need to protect your name. I am a commercial sex worker. I have sex with dozens of clients. You are a happily married man with a reputation, and you need this in order to protect yourself. So ordinary people doing things which are not normative, they are hence positive deviants. However, to most of us, these people are invisible. We don't see them. That's the reason why there aren't so many of these pediatric anesthesiologists or the medical doctor or these commercial sex workers. And we do not see them because we are not trained to see them. There's a beautiful Sufi story of a character by the name of Nasiruddin. Every day, Nasiruddin, riding his donkeys, comes to a border checkpoint. And Nasiruddin, everybody knows, is a smuggler. And there's a customs official waiting for him at this border checkpoint. And the customs official says, Nasiruddin, what do you have? And Nasiruddin says, look. And the customs official looks and finds nothing. So what does he do? He lets Nasiruddin go. The next day, Nasiruddin is back, riding his donkeys, and the customs official says, I'm going to nail you today, Nasiruddin. What do you have? And he says, look. And so he looks, in sacks, and he finds hay and grass, and he sniffs, and he looks under and over and on the side, and nothing. So what does he do? Lets Nasiruddin go. And Nasiruddin is back again, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, decade after decade. And he's not able to nail Nasiruddin in an act of wrongdoing. And he retires, the customs official retires, failed at his efforts to catch Nasiruddin. And they meet then at, let's say, Starbucks. And the customs official says, Nasiruddin, now that I am an old man and now that I am in no official capacity to do anything to you, could you please tell me what is it that you were smuggling? Donkeys, says Nasiruddin. So why did the customs official not see the donkeys? Because he was not trained to see them. Often the solutions are right in front of us, but we cannot see them. Why do we not see them? Because we are too focused on the problem. because we are trained to be problem solvers. We begin by asking the question, what is not working? Rarely do we begin by asking the question, what is working? And even more rarely do we ask what is working and working against all odds. Alejandra Diaz was a master's student here at the University of Texas, El Paso, and she did her MA thesis on the topic of teenage pregnancy. Alejandra Diaz posed the following question: are there young Latina, Hispanic women who come from low socioeconomic strata who are presently in college, which means they finished high school, who have a fine GPA, who have a mother or a sister who became pregnant when they were teenagers, because that's a high risk factor for teenage pregnancy, who have been in a relationship and yet who are not pregnant? Yeah? Are there young Latina women, blah, 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 in college with a mother or a sister who became pregnant when they were young, were doing well in college, are in a relationship, but have not become pregnant? Positive deviance, right? They're deviants because they are not the norm. So you ask the question, do they exist? And in a survey of about 760 students here at the University of Texas, El Paso, she found about 35 who fit all these criteria. And so she asked the question, what are they doing differently? One of the things that was found is that almost all of these girls had never, ever had a conversation at home with their mothers, or let's say their mothers had never had a conversation with them about the issue of teenage pregnancy. And I said, what? No, Alejandra, you're saying that all of them have had a conversation with their mothers about teenage pregnancy. And she said, no. None of them have had a conversation with their mothers about teenage pregnancy. So how do you explain this, Alejandra? And she said, yeah, none of them have had a conversation with their mothers about teenage pregnancy, but all of them, at every opportunity, have had a conversation with their mothers, or, put the other way, at every opportunity, their mothers have had a conversation with them about the importance of finishing school. It's like, you've got to finish school, mijita, my girl. You've got to finish school. So the message is not, don't be pregnant. The message is, finish school. So those girls who are not pregnant, their mothers are talking to them in a somewhat different manner. They're not saying, don't be pregnant. They're saying, finish school. So we can learn a great deal from positive deviants, people who think differently and act differently. Now, Alejandra's work is part of a growing movement based on what is called the positive deviance approach to social change. The PD approach was operationalized over 2 decades ago by a couple, by my friends, Jerry and Monique Sternin in Vietnam. It has now spread to over 40 countries, and it has helped address numerous intractable social problems. Albert Einstein would often remark that logic can take you from A to B, but imagination can take you everywhere. So, can we take our imagination, can we ride our imagination and ask somewhat different questions? Can we ask the question, what's working? And what's working with ordinary people? If we did, perhaps we will see the donkeys. And we will discover that Mother Teresa's and the Mahatma Gandhis are amidst us in our little actions, in our little thoughts, in our little ways of being and doing. Thank you.